About Hurricane Fiona. Now, we know it's strengthened and it's on its way towards the Atlantic Canada. Stronger, but or not as strong, but a bigger storm. What's in store and where's it going, Bill?
Yeah, it's really interesting. You need to know the feeding mechanism, what keeps these strong. You need sea surface temperature at 26 degrees Celsius or more. And you might be going, yeah, but it's holding on to its integrity up towards the Carolinas with the future projections. But the Gulf Stream actually carries a lot of very warm air off the eastern seaboard of the U.S. However, as it continues to work its way up towards Sable Island and then northern Nova Scotia, it starts to run into much cooler Labrador currents, and that will tear it apart. It also, as it moves out of the tropics, it tends to get lopsided, becomes more extratropical, as the kind of storms we see with warm fronts and cold fronts, as opposed to just a hurricane, which is circulating around an eye. So it will definitely change in shape. It will stretch out as it moves into the Maritimes, and it will be a very heavy rain producer and probably still packing some really strong winds, but will have different characteristics from what we saw over Puerto Rico and also for the Turks and Caicos. But these are all the models that we're looking at, and they're all kind of pretty conclusive that this is going to move up to Cape Breton, Mabou, and north to the west side of Newfoundland as well as we push into the early part of the weekend. So we're going to watch this very, very closely. Very powerful hurricane right now. It'll lose sort of the intense winds around the core, but it will still be a soaker and probably some wind damage as well for Atlantic Canada, again, as we roll into the middle of the weekend.
Bill, quickly, I'm loath to ask, but I'm going to. Are there any storms behind this one that we know about yet?
There are. There's these things that have the probability of becoming a named storm when they're not a tropical depression yet. They're called invests. So there are a couple. I mean, we're at the peak of when they do develop. So the National Hurricane Centers, both here in Canada and the U.S., keep an eye on these little waves of tropical moisture that may develop the characteristics of a hurricane. And if they move into favorable conditions, they can really explosively develop. So we'll watch a lot in the Caribbean right now.
Yeah, hopefully that Category 4 storm downgrades and it doesn't leave as much devastation in our Atlantic provinces as it did in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and now Turks and Caicos. Bill, thank you for that explainer. Really appreciate it.